Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about 13 baking ingredients that you can use past the expiration dates. So these ingredients you can use it even if they are expired. Those who like baking frequently, we like using sugars, vanilla extract, all that, cinnamon, all that. There are some products that has no expiry date. So such item, one of it is sugar. Now there's plenty of ingredients here that you can consider using expired date, but sugar flow instantly. If it's expired you can't use it, but sugar you can use. Luckily most folk can detect ranking ingredient in the smell. So sugar, however, is safe to use. It's not like a flour that you can get smell or all that. Sugar, however, is safe to eat after it expires. Generally, it's not unsafe to do unless you can see some red flags. So if you can see something like it has rotten, it has something, but you can use it. The older it is, the more moisture absorbs. So sugar is one of the products that you can use. This can be hard rock hard, or bacteria growth. If you see that, is when you cannot use. But after expiry date, if there has no any growth, it can be used, because sugar has osmotic power and it doesn't contain water. So itself, but drawn it out of the area, that create an hospitable environment that can create an inhospitable environment for mold to grow, because it doesn't have moisture. Say if your sugar has tangled with a contamination and you see discoloration or texture, you can't use it. But store sugar in a cool place and dry and airtight, or it's in a container that no cross contamination and no moisture around, you can use it. That sugar. So sugar is one product that you can use even if it expires. One of the products that you can use. Another one is baking soda. Baking soda doesn't eventually expire, but may still be good. It can be expired, yes, it has expired date also, but may still be good past the expiration date. The flour isn't it an issue, as that's no way we use it on baking in the first place. Instead, its ability as leavening agent becoming compromised. If you see anything inside is compromised, you can do. But that simply means that you cannot use. If the baking powder is good and it's already expired, you can use it. May not rise as expected. If you know that your baking soda is compromised because of the date, you could add a little extra, but be aware of overloading the unpleasant flavor. Instead, you can use it, but don't use it too much. You can grab a little baking soda and splash with vinegar. That one will help. So expiry baking soda as well as rancid flour is the reason you shouldn't bake with expired self-rising flour. So unless it passes the vinegar and smell test, the flour you can't use it, but the baking soda you can use it. So there's a smell test you can use. Keep in mind that baking soda absorbs the flour around it. This is why people leave open container of baking soda in their refrigerator, sparkling or the smelling carpet. You can use it. So that's why we'll recommend keep it in an airtight container or give it with before expired date. Baking powder, although it's similar to baking soda, similarity. So both baking soda and baking powder. So another product is baking powder. We were talking about baking soda. So now we are talking about baking powder. Baking powder is another product that you can use when it's expired. Like baking soda, baking powder may contain the expiry date. It's about ability to help you bake good well, and there's a wonderful test for that. But similarity, you can also have a vinegar test, hot water test. Otherwise, it's fairly straightforward. While baking soda rice rice, when it comes to contact with liquid, baking powder need a little more than that, so you can test it. So what happened to baking powder when it's expired? It loses its ability as a living agent. At that point, it's hard to purpose and can be tossed. Luckily, baking powder often hold ability after expiration date, so it may be clear grab that you can use it. If you put in a container in the back of your pantry and it expired for some times and there's no smell and anything or any crumb, you can use it. So it's just that you should put it in dry ingredient store in tight container in dry location. That is the third one. The fourth one is evaporated and condensed milk. While many of us are under the impression that canned goods are forever and ever, this is simply untrue. Yes, they are famous for lining shelf, but they get expired. Now, can often have fairly expired date, which make them desirable. Such for can even last past the expiration date. So, but you see, condensed, we are talking about condensed milk. But also, if you open the can and see any sign of mold and degradation, you can use it. But condensed and evaporated milk are wonderful ingredients to keep in your pantry for cooking. And on both, they are rich in sweet, as they are sweet and delicious. But how long will you make this to store? In can, it can last quite away in damaging unless the can is damaged and stored in cool place, so you can use it. Condensed milk. Another one that you can use after expiry is molasses. Molasses are a byproduct of sugar product. You know that's a byproduct of sugar product. Essentially, what is left after water was evaporated from the sugar reduction flour. So it can also be a byproduct of a beet sugar. So baker like it to use molasses for unique flavors, then which can be described as slightly bitter, I think, or caramel sugar. So, and it can be thick sometimes. Why probably should you refrigerate your molasses? Good luck for the container should be cold. Like most byproduct, molasses is safe to use after expired date. However, you still want to look for a red flag if it has some mold in it. So another product that you can use past the expired date is a vinegar. Technically, most highly acidic vinegar can last forever, but I encourage you to sip a vinegar. So because some has expired. And you know that how to use vinegar in cleaning. That's because it kills many type of bacteria. This helps preserve so ahead and use as expired. When it's expired, you can use it with confidence because it kills bacteria and you can use it for cleaning. So you can always keep a sign of contamination. You can see if it's contaminated, heavily used. Bottle of vinegar may have been splashed with another ingredient, so you should look for contamination always, which can compromise your preservative. White vinegar and red wine vinegar has long-term expiration, but when unopened, it can stand the test of time. So vinegar is another product that you can use it. The seventh one is honey. The only product that can never be expired is honey. Do you know that honey is antibacterial and it's trapped? And if you trap it in forest and have an open wound, pour some honey on it, you just surely you have a gateway plan for hungry bears. Honey is one of the ingredient that you do not have to worry about going bad. So honey cannot even expire. It has no expiry date as long as you are not dipping your spoon from it and then you contaminate it by yourself. The honey itself has no expiry date. Does honey expire? Expire is what you need to know. So sometimes some people doesn't have a pure honey. They might add sugar or crystals, and that will taste That's my change texture and cause the expired date. So but the real honey doesn't have expired date. The age product that doesn't expire is vinegar extract. Like mannequin and bottle ingredient, vanilla extract lasts for a long time, and you can, even if after expired, after you open, you can extract and you can use it. Vanilla extract ages. The alcohol content decreases through evaporation. When it happens to vanilla, will actually it's intensify. This surprise as most ingredients degrade in flavor over time, so you can use it. After too long, the flavor will compromise. So if expire for too long, so you should look if the flavor has diminished or been compromised, but otherwise you can use it. Another product is dry fruits. Dry fruits cannot be expired, like dates. Even I think not all that appear in classic oatmeal, raisin, also cookies, you can use after expired also. Dry fruits can be blended into bars and make for fantastic sweetener as sugar alternative. You can also easily have your own dry fruit using a dehydrator, but it can be terribly expensive, so you can use as a dehydrator. Depending on your storage, it can last longer, or you refrigerate your dry fruits. Another one is salt. When determining your salt has spoiled or not, it's important to know that the kind of salt you have in your pantry is pure. It's iodized. Is it iodized? Pure salt doesn't expire, but iodized can deteriorate over time. Anti-caking agent also become compromised to it if it has not exposed to cross contamination. So the pure salt has no expiry like pure honey, but the iodine one can deteriorate. So that is the 11th one that you can use it when expire is ground spices. So I'm a big fan of fresh spices. They do expire, lose their luster and become bland sometimes, but you can fresh spice make a difference. However, it can go on and expire. Bring those you ground one, but pre-ground spices. Pre-ground spices are quick to lose flavor than those stored whole and then fresh ground. Yes. The whole spices are a bit more work on back in day. So consider the best way to store is maximum preservation, and grab your mortar and pestle and get pulverized. The 12th one is cornstarch. Gluten-free folk are constantly stocking up on starch. We are desperate on binders and baking and rich flour, all that, and now cornstarch. So even those who aren't in bottle with gluten and then use cornstarch, here is it, but it's not tend to use cornstarch here. They are not typical a classic product, but you blow through in a few months. So cornstarch is another product that you can use even if it's expired. It's very dry, which help to preserve the cornstarch is stable and pure, which means it won't break down as quickly as other less stable product. However, your biggest concern is going to be pests are the problem, or contaminants. So keep in mind that cornstarch and cornmeal are two different products. I'm talking about cornstarch, and cornmeal does rancid quicker and keep your cornstarch dry and watch it lasts harder. So you can. The 13th one is cocoa. We know cocoa. People from Ghana know cocoa. Cocoa is one of the products, or it's one of the favorite baking ingredient for many people. Pure cocoa powder can be used as savory and sweet capacity, and add to riches to every tart. You can add to chocolate. You can use it in everything, or you can even use in a beverage. So powder can last longer. Cocoa need to be stored in a cool, dry place, and hot chocolate powder and cocoa powder are not the same. So cocoa typically has sugar, milk powder, salt, and other ingredients that make it extract tasty. Cocoa is simply cocoa beans. It's extracted from cocoa beans. Keep your cocoa in dark, cool area with limited moisture. Store in sealed container, preferably outer. This will extend the sale maximum. So cocoa, even if it's expired, you can use it as long as it is in a tight container. Guys, thank you for watching. Which other product do you think that can be used when expired?